It's Jay, and welcome to the first edition of Osafke Talks. And we're here, we're laughing because it's a good indicator of what we're doing. Edwin Marshall brought us some Osafke here today, and we got it right in the middle. And any good Stajati table will have some on there. But another thing too that you got to have. Got to have your donuts.
Donuts.
But we're here today talking with Greg Votaw. We've asked Greg Votaw to come in and talk a little bit about the finances and the finance committee and the work that they're doing for the tribe and the nation. Greg, welcome aboard.
It's Jay, Bo. Thanks for having me.
Doing good, doing good. Also have moderator here and a man about town, Edwin Marshall. Edwin?
Good morning.
So one of the things we're going to look at today, and I've asked Greg to talk about, is some of the beginnings of the Finance Committee, about some of the things that he had to come into when he first came aboard, a little bit about himself, of course, but also where we're at now with our finances and what's the way forward. And Greg, welcome again. Tell us a little bit about where you're from and what's going on with you, and we'll just dive right into it.
That's it. Well, from around here, so we're here in Seminole, and then my wife, she's from Delaney here, and general counsel rep for the Watley Band, and finance committee chair. So
okay,
Greg, I one thing I've always noticed, you got a name from it's another tribal name. So do you have the other tribe mixed in your genetics?
as far as I know, just the Seminole and Creek.
Is that right? Votaw?
Yeah. I think that's more come about for French side from my granddad.
All right.
So
go ahead.
Yeah. So, but yeah, so as far as the finance committee goes, like I said, started this and it was probably September, October last year. Mm-hmm. So by appointment of the chief, and then started out actually as a secretary. So
okay.
But Anita was chairman then, and so in this year and a half now, we're on our third budget officer. We've had some kind of struggles trying to keep that in line and going in with that due to no one in particular, just just circumstances of life. Right. So that's kind of put a little hamper on gathering of information and making sure everything is consistent between each officer. So coming in is kind of rough start. Everyone on the committee was newly elected.
What were a few of the friction points coming in that you had when you took on the mantle as finance committee chair? What were some of the friction points you immediately saw?
As far as friction right off the bat, I guess that to me I was really kind of unaware at first, but just kind of learned the process and what was coming in on. Mm-hmm. And so really I guess the friction point personally would be just knowledge and understanding.
Transitioning into
it. Learning the system.
Mm-hmm. Right, because no one finances of one entity as another. You can come into the tribe, it's a
totally different animal. Yeah,
I mean, dealing with school budgets and all the rest of that. This, like I said, once you get the federal government involved, then you have the tribal entities. I mean, you're going to take in so many more factors into comprehending what it is that we need to know to make sound decisions. And so that's really the start of it, getting to know what the ins and outs of what's going on, and and so trying to understand where we're coming to and where we need to go ultimately.
Well, part of that is, you said some of the things that you had was learning new factors. You've actually got a new factor with you, Larry Factor, our budget officer. He's come in to help out. He was going to be here today, but he's got some other business he's taking care of. So how has he helped, and what does he bring to the table?
He brings to the table a lot of experience and knowledge. He's been with the nation. I think he said this was his fourth time or so with us, but he's previously been with us as well as the Creeks, and working in the same areas as budgeting and finance, and so he brings a wealth of information and variety to this. Mm-hmm. So we're very pleased to have him on board. And
Greg, I've been here since October, and I've noticed, and just from my personal perspective, I've noticed that the office of the controller has been vacant since I've been here. How is that going to impact what you try to do in finances?
For that vacancy, it still impacts us on as far as reporting and all of that goes. We're actually working with the accounting firm that helped us with our audit and getting that in line, and they're continuing on to assist us in that and making sure that. And I think that's the biggest thing that we're coming up to right now is the fact they're providing their own knowledge and understanding as well, and they're helping us to and our staff to better know what it is we need. Knowing what and how to report and just really bringing in, like I said, the knowledge and understanding. I think that's the biggest thing. We can know a lot of things all day long, but until we understand them and know the ins and outs of how it works, that's where we need to.
I should clarify that position is being advertised, however.
Yes.
Controller.
Yes. And so I think that's, like I said, it's just we're working to understand what we don't know and better know what we need to know.
Right. And Larry's been very vocal, especially on the last general council meetings and the band chiefs meetings, on how to, for us as directors and those that are working within the nation, how we can better make the system.
Yes.
By holding us and letting us know, say, hey, is there something on your end that you're seeing that I'm not seeing? So just having that communication, I think, is a little bit, a lot of the movement of the way forward.
Absolutely.
Being able to understand that.
And I think, now, and especially with, this with the past council meeting, getting a lot of those budgets approved, now we know we have a new set guideline to go off of, and then, fine-tuning the last two parts to be the full, complete budget. And with this being in place, we can go ahead and start on this next fiscal year for 2020, and we sent out a timeline here just recently to all direction studies saying that, this is our plan. This is, what we're looking at as far as deadlines. And this is kind of the scale that we want to be held accountable to and, and try to make this work. And so that, whereas last year we kind of just kept calling for it all at once and they're staggered. I think now that we've sat on this and got the experience behind us in this, that we're better prepared to make the next move. And I think this next year looks to be a little more promising. The fact is, we still have a struggle to get to as far as making a balanced budget and bringing in bringing the expenses down to make sure that the tribe still can generate either revenue or do better itself forward. Because and this thing, we can make revenue expenditures even out all day long, but it doesn't get us anywhere forward. We need to make sure that as a nation, we prioritize what it is we want to fund and what we want to see grow within ourselves, and then make sure that we're focusing to better that part out.
Key word is prioritizing.
Exactly. And Larry has mentioned that in the past two meetings, but, who's going to decide where the priorities are at? And that's what we need to know as far as the people, what do they want to see? What do they want prioritized in our nation, Because we can make decisions, say we need this program, we need that one, but what if the people don't want that? We need to better understand what it is that not only the people want, but also what we can afford and what we need to do to make this better for everyone.
I'm going to ask you a question, Greg, right here that I think I'm asking this from the perspective of the common citizen that doesn't really know the internal operations of the tribe, what's going on. In the past several months, there seems to be a de-emphasis on the winery and that operation. And the other day, the council passed a resolution for hemp farming. And so is that an industry that is going to replace what was started with the wine initiative?
That I'm not entirely sure of.
Okay.
Because, but one thing I will say that's constant is the fact that there is a focus on agriculture.
Yeah.
Granted, we may have not seen a success in vineyard winery, but maybe another venture, and as far as hemp, and like I said, I'm not sure yet. We're just going for codification as far as laws go.
Right.
So that we can maybe look at it, and then we can start, studies and trying to figure out how it's going to be financially to the nation.
And if it's feasible, you got the property.
Exactly. Yeah. And so, but the key thing is here, we're looking at part in agriculture, and we know very well that that's a very key component to our culture, to our tradition. If we can't grow any food, or we can't grow our land as far as the quality of it,
Maybe we ought to start taking a look at farming white corn for Osafke. Huh?
That's never out of the picture.
Yeah.
So where there's white corn, there's Osafke.
Big market for it.
That's it. But it still maintains a staple. So.
That's one of the things you hit on is agriculture. It's a very important part of a lot of neighboring tribes and what they do and how they move forward on this and financially staying solvent on these things. Maybe we can have some good idea fairies come out of the woodwork and something.
But that's part of community.
It is.
That's what we need to work on. I think a lot of that we've kind of lost. We kind of treat it more as a republic and let other people make decisions rather than let's bring it as a community and let's talk about what's good for all of us, not just a few. So
well, that's good.
That's an idea.
Definitely. Well, a way forward. What are we looking at? I think we kind of touched upon it a little bit.
Yeah, way forward.
We've got a couple of years next for the next election. What's the way forward on our finances here?
Way forward, like I said, it's just been our plan all along. Just let's make sure that we're accountable to it. Let's make sure that all of our debts are taken care of, so that we can move forward. Because as a homeowner, you got to figure out, what can I afford, what debts can I eliminate, and let's move that forward and let's take care of business. And that's really what we need to focus on. If we get that in line, then that frees us up to make more better decisions or make investments here or to make really this place, our nation, grow. And the freer we are from debt, the better we are to use our resources to better each other.
Yes, absolutely. How has being a general counsel representative gave you insight on being a finance committee, and how do you separate those two?
To me, I kind of operate in the same in both aspects, because as far as finance committee, I don't know what it's like not to be a council member, because that's come through that election, and that's how that nomination occurred. So as far as separating the two, as far as finance committee, my sole focus is I'm not looking at legislation, I'm not looking at anything, I'm looking at how this budget in front of me looks and how it's going to affect us as a whole. As far as comprehensive budget, when you look at it, you want to look at best as how it's going to affect everyone. Because, as far as finance committee goes, we're going to come to a point where we have to make hard choices, and they are going to be detrimental to one or the another, or we could, find a avenue that we could hone down on and say, hey, let's shave back here and then let's move here. But at the end of the day, if you're going to try to increase your revenue, reduce your expenses, you're going to have to take some tough looks, and that's where we're at. And so that's my responsibility as finance. As far as general counsel goes, we're there to make laws. We're there to make sure that the well-being of the nation is intact, and that we continue to make good and sound decisions for our people. And I think that's the two focuses there. Whereas one, we want to look at financial responsibility, but two, we want to make sure that we're making laws that are good for all people. Not just, because we can legislate our way and, knock it down and say, this is how we want to make everything look. But at the end of the day, if you confine everyone to a specific degree, then are we really governing ourselves, or are we trying to govern the people? And I think that's the real deal that we have to look at it as far as, the Constitution. It created to govern the people. It was created to govern the council itself. And we got to make sure that we maintain that. It's the fact, we're responsible to the people. And if the people say that that's not what we're supposed to do, we need to have bend our ear towards it.
What are some things that average citizen of the Seminole Nation can ask or seek your advice on? What are some things that you would like for them to know?
Really, I wonder what they want to know. If a question's not asked, I can't find out an answer. If they want to know, like I said, it's just same as my office, open door. Just ask me, and if I don't know, we'll work on finding out what we need to do to know that fact. My deal to encourage people is, ask questions. If you don't know something about something, let's ask it, and then follow the chain, and let's get it done.
Mm-hmm. Greg, as a band representative, is that open door for your band members only, or any Seminole, or do you encourage them to go to their band representative? How do you feel about that?
I would encourage them to speak with their band representative, but I don't mind being a liaison to that. And I'm open to everybody. And so, say for instance, you're Tom Palmer, right? Mm-hmm. So if Bo comes ask me, I said, well, say he didn't know he was representative, I said, well, these are your representatives, and let's open the door of communication with them. And then you can get involved with his representatives and his band in that aspect. Okay,
if I was a Seminole citizen, how would I reach you? What's your phone number?
My phone number is 405-584-2006.
584-2006.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And Bo here, he's got my card if you want to pan into that.
We'll have this face on Facebook.
But yeah, I mean, that's
pretty card, Greg.
That's it.
I think that's key to any communication, is having open doors and being willing to speak with whoever will call and talk to you. Just like you said, I'm sure you will channel those persons to their band representative. However, if it's just a matter of opening a door and saying, okay, this is who your band representative is, I'm sure that you or any other council representative is willing to do that.
Right. And that's our duty, first and foremost.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's like I said. But again, if they don't know that channel, then again, we won't get nowhere. But once we open those channels and open the doors, they realize that they're free to communicate with their representatives, with their band chairs, with their assistant band chairs. And at the end of the day, we got to continue to remember, this is all of our nation. We belong to this, and this is what it's our responsibility to make sure that we keep that communication open.
Now, can you say that in the Muskogee language?
Hey, he can say quite a bit in the
Yes,
Muskogee
he can.
language.
We got about a minute left, so we're just going to freewheel it. I think that was a pretty good. Appreciate you talking and sharing some of this information about the finance side of the house for the Seminole Nation.
Absolutely.
But like anything else, that we are a people, and we're in this thing together. So we're only as good as the weakest link.
That's it.
But where we're weak, we are strong. So
that's it.
How's everything going? Give us some of that humor, Greg.
Man, it's going good. We've been enjoying some good times. I'm gonna take off this weekend, get a little break with the wife, and just kind of go out and go visit some places.
Well, that's another thing too. A lot of people don't realize, and I'm finding out too, working here, that you actually spend a lot of time, cultivating nation business. But you gotta have a family, or you got family time that you gotta cultivate as well, because it can be all consuming.
That's it. Well, that's what she tells me. She said, we got married in June. You took counsel in September. She said, we only got a few months. And bless her heart, she's been great in understanding all this. And
that's good.
So like I say, we even got a full year of just marriage down. We got that few months, and we hit the ground.
So you got married in March?
I got married in June.
June. I'm
June of 17.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So you got an anniversary coming up here in a couple months.
That's it. Yeah.
Well, you'll say hi to her.
Hello. It's been a good deal.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest, the greatest deal for me right now is the fact that I've been able to build relationships within the nation and with other people that we can have conversations. We can figure out what it is that we'd like to see and build on it. Like Edwin here, I'd seen him on Facebook for time and time again, but getting into this, I finally get to meet with him. I get to talk with him, and we established communication, and so. It's been good.
That's good. I mean, that's the essence of all this, isn't it?
That's what builds a community. If with relationships comes a community. But if we don't build on these relationships, we start ostracizing ourselves even away from that. And until a later day, we want to step back into it and realize, hey, this is all of us. You know, we're one people, we're one family, and let's just keep on moving us forward.
The children see the excitement in us. Definitely leave that legacy behind.
That's
for sure.
it.
So how's Osafke? All right. Well, I think we'll just go ahead and wrap it up from that. Delaney, you got anything over there, Delaney? It's mandatory Delaney shot. We got to have that. I love our Delaney. Hey, with that, that'll bring up the first edition of Osafke Talks.
Osafke Talks.
That's it. I'm here with Edwin Marshall, Greg Votaw, Delaney, and Jeremy behind the camera, of course.
Thank you, gentlemen.
And we look forward to seeing you next time.
Yes,
Until
sir.
then, Muddo.
Muddo.